where do we begin? I know where I begin. Big bad Celtics going home. First time since 1982 the Sixers take down the Celtics in the playoffs. How sweet it is 44 years later. As we welcome you here to Sixers Post-Game Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. And you can see right behind me, they won at Boston and they beat Boston. They were mocking us up there with the chants. Not much to mock right now there, Mark Jackson, is there?
Not at all, Amy. We went into their home court and we took what we needed to do, and that was a victory. I got to give a shout out to these Sixers guys. It was just a battle. We knew it was going to be a battle with or without Jason Tatum, respectfully. They played the whole majority of the season without him. They won games without him. They almost had tonight, but unfortunately they fell short, and we fell high. With that being said, great job by Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, it was relentless, and you're thinking it's not going to be that easy, Coach, when they were up 18 in the first half. Even when they were up 16 in the second half, it's not going to be that easy. We knew it was going to be the Celtics. You knew it was going to be a dogfight into the end, but the Sixers prevailed, and I think you were like me. Nervous doesn't even begin to describe it.
Yeah, to me, Amy, this team has been resilient really all season long. You know, just untimely injuries, bizarre stuff,
yeah.
You know. Paul George getting suspended, Joe, the appendectomy, but I think they believed. And once they, you know, saw daylight in this series, I mean, they just went for the jugular. They won 3 games in the Boston Garden in a 7-game set. Game, set, match.
In the Garden, folks. In the Garden. They won 3 games in the Boston Garden. You don't even know, like, how hard that has to be on the outside. Vegas will tell you it was almost impossible, but it was not impossible for these guys. They said it all along. Mark, they said we're not underdogs. They don't feel like underdogs. And honestly, when you look at it on paper, especially when Joel Embiid came back, this is a more talented roster. Joel Embiid is one of the best players in the league when he's healthy. We just hadn't had him healthy. Coach pointed out after Game 6, even though he just had the appendectomy 3 weeks ago, it's the healthiest he's been in the playoffs for the Sixers, which is wild to think about, but it is a factual statement. This is what the Sixers front office envisioned when they signed Paul George and when they had Tyrese Maxey to the long-term contract and they have Joel Embiid under contract, the big 3, and then you add in VJ. This is what they thought, taking down the Celtics, who were the proverbial favorite to come out of the East. Absolutely,
Amy. When you put, not just say, but let's do the math. We got VJ, a long athletic wing. We got Paul George, a athletic defensive stopping mindset wing. Oubre, an aggressive long wing. Justin Edwards, he's available, has the same thing. We have a roster built to defend the wings of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. To me, probably if not the best, but one of the best backcourts or complements of 1-2 players in the entire NBA. They proved that. We have something for that. We have a roster filled with guys that can play any tempo you need, that can defend, that can score, that can shoot, can play off Joel Embiid, can fill in when Joel Embiid is not in there.
Yes.
With that being said, the roster makes this team what it is. It's not just about 1 or 2 guys. It's about the entirety of that roster.
This is a remarkable run that they were on. I think it bears repeating. They were down 3-1. This is the first time in Sixers history they have come back to win a series being down 3-1. And by the way, the Celtics have never blown a 3-1 series lead. They did that tonight. And I don't care what you're going to say about Tatum not being in and out. They won 43 games this year without Jason Tatum. They almost won this game without Jason Tatum.
Yes.
The Sixers had to come to play. They had to bring it start to finish, no matter what the lead was, no matter how much the Celtics were showing, and they took the lead. The Sixers had to find that way. And digging down deep, Coach, you mentioned it, resiliency. It's harder to think about, but really that's what they had to do each possession, I think.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, if I were going to pick a guy to kind of, I guess, really exemplify that, as great in this game as Embiid was and Tyrese Maxey was, how about VJ Edgecombe? This is a guy who went 3 games without making a 3. In Game 7 on the road in Boston Garden, he made 5 out of 11 threes. He was sensational.
Sensational. It was a remarkable performance all around. The backcourt certainly shined brightly. So did Joel Embiid. But we got to talk about Tyrese Maxey, who was the one to bring this one home. He is the subject of our electrifying moment brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. And the places they're going is the second round, thanks to Tyrese Maxey. We got 2 minutes left, 1-point game. We are super, super nervous. He had just missed this shot, Coach.
He did, you're right, yeah. And sure, I thought when he hit it.
So when he missed that, we got nervous, but he makes this one here.
Just goes right by Kata. He's a big-time shot blocker.
Big-time player right
Takes
there.
him to the other side of the rim to get a little protection. from the shot block.
And then right here, he's going to drive right through three green jerseys.
Only he could see space to go through. I think you're going to see a replay of this. Watch the little space he goes through. Watch. Right?
He's going to drive, yep, a little dish
Right.
off from Kelly.
There. Yep.
I mean, that's remarkable. And then Mark Jackson, a great defensive possession on the other end. Defense is the absolute name of the game. Joel Embiid following around Derek White, who's been tremendous in this one. And then an off-balance shot by Sam Hauser. And that was pretty much all she wrote. Defense has been the name of the game, but Derek White was sensational for them. He had a pretty poor shooting series, but he was great tonight. Joel Embiid following around. Joel Embiid, who was hurt earlier in this game, by the way, Mark.
Absolutely. Joel Embiid moving his feet when time permitted, able to get stopped. Look at Paul George getting a foot, getting a hand up. Look at the scramble by Paul. Never giving up on play. The smallest guy on the court with the rebound, Maxey, and he's getting fouled there. I think it's so important to give credit where credit's due. These guys were tired. These guys all suck and win here late in the game. Both teams were, but they stepped it up in a crucial time to come out with the victory.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey, 45-plus minutes. VJ Edgecombe, 44 minutes. Joel Embiid, 39 minutes. Paul George, 42 minutes. I mean, that's how you know it's a Game 7. And honestly, there was a time in the beginning of this game you thought, is this a Game 7? Doesn't feel like Game 7. They obviously heard us thinking that, and they turned that into it. But the intensity level, for them to match it, when you know your gas, Mark, you've played this game a long time. How tough is that to really find something extra when the game's on the line in a hostile environment?
Listen, it's tough. It's tough because you know it's not just you versus them. The other team is you versus them, and everybody in the arena hates your guts and wants you to lose. So you got to step up with that. But me, I'm telling you, true competitors really love these away games because you get more fuel when you feel the barking coming from the opposing fans. And I'm quite sure Maxey, Joel Embiid, and to me, I don't know about y'all, I know his numbers say one thing, but to me, Joel Embiid was gassed. I thought he was really gassed, and I thought that little extra pep of the crowd being in his ear talking, negative
he
talk.
liked that.
I think, we said it. He's used to be one of the biggest trolls in the NBA. He loves that. It makes him get energized for it, and you see what happens.
Yeah, you heard him after Game 5, and he said, I love playing at home, but I also love making shots on the road. And he feeds off of that. He feeds off of talking. We saw him talking to Jaylen Brown a little bit there, Coach. But Joel Embiid, to obviously be gassed, you saw that. That's a lot of minutes for him. This was a very physical game. They were trying to push him around. He found that great defensive stop at the end. He found a couple of buckets at the end as well.
Yeah, and I thought he did another great job because they doubled him a ton of times when he had that ball down low, and he had played the whole game that he played with one turnover. I think he had 6 assists to go with his points and 12 rebounds.
Yep.
He was the poise that he showed. Maybe it was, you heard him say he was tired of losing Game 7. Well, he was very determined to play a highly efficient game, I'm going to call it. And those numbers you're looking at right there, that's what that exemplifies.
Yeah, he's been 0 for 3 against the Celtics. You can make that now 1.